has announced that the government is rigorously engaged in reclaiming and revegetating illegally mined areas. He emphasized that punishment for illegal mining perpetrators will be strictly enforced. Responding to questions in Parliament today, the minister revealed that 8 out of the 9 red zone mining areas have been successfully reclaimed. He also addressed the tragic incident in Mpasetia Yao Nkwanta, where near the Echumampunya district Ashanti region, where 2 people died following the collapse of an illegal mining pit earlier this year. Let's listen to the minister when he was in Parliament and addressed the House.
Illegal mining is a persistent challenge which has polluted our water bodies, degraded our arable lands, and decimated our forest reserves. So, Speaker, in the recent incident in the Swaman constituency, 2 people inadvertently fell in a Galamsey pit and lost their lives. These recent happenings have sparked public outrage, and immediate measures are being put in place to curb this menace. So, Speaker, the immediate measures include reclamation and revegetation program. The government is engaging in the reclamation of illegally mined out areas in the constituency and other affected areas to avoid such occurrences. Community engagement and education. The ministry has intensified community engagement and awareness creation on the effects of illegal mining. We have engaged the district assemblies and traditional authorities to come together and help in this fight. Law enforcement. Punishment for perpetrators of this heinous crime will be strictly enforced as is being done, and to ensure deterrence to other miners who engage in this activity. We are also strengthening licensing and regulation. Mr. Speaker, we are also focusing on geologically investigated areas with very good prospects to ensure that miners will get mine out areas that are very lucrative for them to mine, so that we can prevent this random digging and this risk we face. I thank you. Yes, the ministry through the Minerals Commission is able to regulate legal miners, small-scale miners that have legal licenses. But that's why we call these activities illegal. These are illegal activities, and those faceless people who do it are unknown. And so we continue to work with the district assemblies and authorities to apprehend them and make sure they are punished, make sure that we can get them to recover these areas. And we will continue to do so. I thank you. Honourable Speaker, as I stated, we are engaged in a very aggressive program. First, to reclaim all these degraded land, to minimize those risks. We are also working on a program for cooperative mining to identify mineralized areas and organize mining in a very sustainable and responsible manner. We believe that those steps will help address the concerns that has been raised. I thank you. Honourable Speaker, I think that this is when people engage in illegality and it results in the death of human beings, that becomes a matter of police investigation, and the right institutions are on top of this. I thank you. As the President recently stated, we are under no illusion that illegal mining activities that is widespread in more than 5 regions, that is engaging by almost 3 million people, will come to an end in 4 months. But we are very proud of the steps we have taken and the progress we are making. We are very proud to have reclaimed 8 out of 9 red zones that were not tackled for over 3 years. We are very proud of the active collaboration we are having with the community leaders, and we'll continue to make the progress and make sure mining is done responsibly and sustainable in Ghana. Speaker, I think my statement was very clear. This government and the people of Ghana can testify that the load that we were sunk in, this government the last 4 months is really making progress, and will continue to make progress to ensure that we can do mining responsibly and sustainably in Ghana.
So that's the voice of Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, who is the Minister in charge of Lands and Natural Resources, when he was in Parliament answering questions to the regarding how far the ministry has gone as regards the fight against illegal mining and whether or not people have been affected. And he indicated that a few months ago, some 2 individuals lost their lives when a pit they were working in illegally collapsed, and says that has also added that government is going the extra mile to try to ensure that they are able to fight this illegal mining effectively. So and then the concern also has to do with the fight against illegal mining, not just in one particular region, but then across the country. And reports coming in, he says that 9 red zones, which are forest areas that many people have invaded and are mining illegally, 8 out of the 9 zones have been reclaimed by government, and they are working assiduously to reclaim the land and revegetate the land by planting trees and putting in an extra effort to ensure that we get those lands back to their original green state. So we are shifting our attention to, we stay on the subjects now, and Darobosu, who is an advocate when it comes to issues regarding, land degradation and the fact that we need to protect our forest reserves and water bodies, has joined us on his thoughts on this particular development that the minister has been talking about in Parliament. Mr. Bosu, good evening. Thank you very much. I know Arocha Ghana would definitely be happy with the efforts government is putting in, although more is required. But what do you make of the fact that the minister is saying that 8 out of the 9 red zones have been reclaimed by the state?
Good evening to you as well, and thank you very much for having me. I don't know whether I am happy or not concerning the reports from the Honorable Minister, because yes, as they report, these forest reserves initially were fully under the control of some gangs and some thugs who were actually preventing the Forestry Commission staff from going in to do their work. So if the government says that they have reclaimed the area from these thugs, then that is good news. I am not sure about the action being taken to restore the forest cover in those areas, because the damage in these areas is not something you can do within such a short time, and it would require really a lot of investment. So, I know that, yes, we've been able to take back the forest, but we also know that these tags, it's just on and off. They go and come. They go reinforce themselves. You strike them, they go and come back. So I think we shouldn't be too happy yet, because I really think that the information we have from the ground is that, look, yes, the people are no longer there as they used to be, but they are not completely out of these areas. So we need to be very careful, and I think we shouldn't give them any space. We should be relentless. We should hit them hard, make sure that they go and they never come back. At the moment, they're just playing hide and seek with our state agencies that are on the ground trying to prevent them from the damage that they are causing to our forest reserves.
I hear you talk about how we can sustain the fight, and although we are able to get the people out of the illegal mining areas, like you indicate, they are almost always likely to wait a while. When the forces leave, then they return. So your concern really is about sustainability. But someone who's followed this space for these number of years, how do you advise government can sustain the fight?
You see, I think that where we are now, these guys who are on the ground with the excavators, they're also learning. They're learning from the way the state agencies who are enforcing the law are working. As we know, these people now tend to work in the night. They know that if you come and strike them from the area, you go back and you give them a day or two, they'll also go back behind you and do all of that. And that is why we are saying, look, knowing that these people are deliberately returning to the site you sacked them from, why don't you place military officers permanently in these areas? Resolve them for some time. And this is why we've been calling for a state of emergency in some of these hotspots, where these people have stationed themselves, have become so empowered, and they work with impunity and play hide and seek with our state law enforcement agencies. So I think that the government should see the reason why we are calling for a state of emergency. But whether you like it or not, these guys, when you go back to Accra, they will return more reinforced and they'll keep doing them. So I ask myself, how long are we going to keep doing this back and forth with these illegal miners who seem to know how the enforcement agencies are working and always find a way to return? And until we put in a lasting deterrent measure, we have said that in the forest reserve, anybody working there, the excavators must be bent. No investor will be a double fool to go back and say, look, I got my excavator bent in this forest reserve, I'll go back again. Nobody will do that. We are just playing hide and seek, trying to convey confiscated excavators back to town, and then somebody will find a way to release them and back into them. So I think that the government should see the reason why there's a clarion call for a state of emergency, which we are saying that not across every area, but in those specific hotspots, those areas that are troublesome hotspots that you need to place people that use intelligence, use surveillance, drones, and all of that. Station people permanently there for at least 3 months, and then watch the behavior and see them confiscate and destroy. That is the only way we can deal with it. Otherwise, hide and seek will continue. Eventually, somebody will get tired, and I know it's not going to be the miners.
Right. Mr. Bosu, I would want you to kindly hold on for me, because it looks as though Ghana really wants to take this fight seriously, to the extent that the Foreign Affairs Minister on a trip to China recently, where there was a China-Africa summit, met with the mayor of one of the towns in China, where we are told that many of the Galamseyers or the Chinese nationals do come from. And when he went there, he engaged them and told them about the new government and how stringent they are when it comes to issues of these Galamsey. So kindly indulge me. Let's listen to Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, the Foreign Affairs Minister. Then I'll pick your thoughts on what this means in the fight against the illegal mining.
Sure.
What we frown against, what we will not accept, is if you come to our country, you flout our laws, you destroy our environment, our river bodies. We know some of your Nanning is internationally known for mining. You have a lot of interest in gold, and you are a mining expert. If you do legal mining, responsible mining, we don't have any issue with you. You will be our friend. But if you come and engage in illegal mining, irresponsible mining, and you destroy our river bodies, you destroy our forests against Ghanaian law, and putting our lives at risk, as for that, you won't be our friend. And we are going all out against our own nationals, Ghanaians, who are doing the wrong things in the mining sector. So if we are going after Ghanaians, how much more foreigners?
How much more foreigners? All right, so that's the voice of Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, the Foreign Affairs Minister, when he was in Nanning. That's the name of the province in China, Nanning, where we are told that many of them are into mining. So your thoughts on this, Mr. Bosu?
Yes, I really have to commend the Honorable Foreign Affairs Minister for taking the steps, because within the diplomatic circles, these discussions are very important. We know that sometimes certain countries have some economic wealth that they can throw around and even sometimes influence the way some laws are implemented in certain countries. And so this approach by the government to engage with China at this level is very, very important. But I need to say that at the end of the day, when the Chinese decide to come to the country, even how they enter the country, the mission why they are coming to the country, it's eventually up to us to let them in or not. Now, when they are in the country and they are moving about and we see them engaging in certain activities, I mean, some will be good, some will be bad, just like any other foreigner in this country, it is also up to us as Ghanaians to let our laws work. But this is where then you ask yourself, are we implementing our own laws as we have claimed it is? So I believe that at the end of the day, you go through this diplomacy, you go to talk about it in China. At the end of the day, the work needs to be done by us Ghanaians. This is our land. We run the law enforcement agencies. We set our own laws. We enforce our own laws. I think that the bigger responsibility lies with us as Ghanaians, lies with our immigration officers, lies with our police officers, lies with every RISEC and DISEC group in this country. We need to keep our eyes on the ground and ensure that it doesn't matter what country you come from, you do the right thing. You live by the rule of law. Now, the interesting thing we all need to understand that everything that we claim the Chinese are doing in this country, there's no way they will allow us to go and do same in their country. So if the Chinese are getting misbehaving in this country, it's because we are allowing them to be. And so I believe that the bigger responsibility lies with us as Ghanaians to ensure that we let our laws work. We can never blame the Chinese for what is happening here. The responsibility lies with us. So I think it's about time we sit up, own our own responsibility, own our own mistakes, and deal with it. All the Chinese can do is to offer support. On their side, when there are issues, they can offer support. If you want even them to support them with some intelligence, equipment, they can offer support. But it is up to us, not them, to deal with the recalcitrant nature of some of their own people who travel across many parts of the world trying to look for jobs or to settle or to do many things. So I think the responsibility is after. So we shouldn't really put the blame on the Chinese if we think that they have a role to play. No.
Most grateful for your time this evening, and
as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You heard the voice of Darrell Boso, who is the Deputy National Coordinator of Arocha, Ghana. Now, they are one of the key state institutions, one of the key civil society institutions at the forefront fighting against illegal mining. And it's a broader conversation that has now even gotten to the extent that Foreign Affairs Minister has had to also lend support to the Minister in charge of Lands and Natural Resources, and by extension the National Security Ministry, as well as the other relevant agencies that all have to play a role if we want to get our water bodies and our rivers and forests clean or devoid of illegal mining activities. So he addressed the vice mayor of the Nanning community, who is in the person of Guo Wei, that's his name. He was with the Chinese delegation when the Foreign Affairs Minister met them in China and spoke about the impact of the illegal activities that people from Nanning are having when it comes to Ghana. So he's asking for further assistance, especially from the Chinese. And like you heard Darrell Bosu say, a lot of the lifting, the heavy lifting, depends on Ghana, right from all our state institutions, immigration, right through the police, the military, and then the regular citizens and people living in the communities where these activities take place. We all need to ensure that any foreigner who comes through the right procedure, follows their right rules and regulations if they want to undertake any kind of business within our jurisdiction. Because, again, Ghanaians cannot go to any part, not even the remotest part of China, and go and misbehave. So if citizens come from that place, we, the citizens here in Ghana, need to also assist government in whichever way possible, because the water bodies, the forest reserves are ours, and we cannot allow foreigners to destroy them. But most of the heavy lifting or the major work depends on us. And like the Foreign Affairs Minister indicated, if Ghanaians are even being chased or arrested and prosecuted, how much more a foreigner or an outsider? So it's an interesting play on how the issues are playing out before us, and we'll see how it comes out in the coming days. You're still listening to 3FM 92.7. Let's go to another very concerning subject, which is the arrest of some individuals